Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this one we are going to talk about 7 steps to take for buying a car that will ensure that you get a great deal. Buying a car is one of the biggest purchasing decisions you can make. It can be difficult to narrow down what you want and how much you can afford given the overabundance of choice. This video is about telling you how to get the most car for your money. The car salesman is not your friend and he is most certainly not on your side. Their job is to sell you a car for the maximum possible price. However, by following the steps in this video, you can minimize your negotiations and make the whole experience smooth and efficient for both parties involved. It is easy to get 8 to 10% off of a new car, which can turn out to be thousands of dollars. But I was lucky enough to get an incredible 28.5% off of a brand new RAV4 XLE Premium. I am pretty sure that the dealership actually lost money on that transaction. It'll be 2 to 3 years before the car depreciates to the amount I paid, so I am essentially driving around for free. So let's get started and go over the 7 steps that I followed for myself, and maybe they will also help you to find a good deal. Step 1. Do not make a rash decision. The first step is also the easiest one. One of the worst mistakes you can make is to wake up on a Saturday morning and decide that you want a new car. If you walk into the dealership unprepared, then it will be a big uphill battle for you. Remember that a car is a depreciating asset that requires maintenance and fuel. It is important for you to systematically think about your needs before you walk into any dealerships. The second step is to do your research. You need to ask yourself what kind of car is most appropriate for you. Do you want a sedan or an SUV? Do you live in a place where it snows, in which case you may want an all-wheel drive vehicle? How much maintenance and fuel can you afford? German cars are much more expensive to maintain than their Japanese counterparts. Once you have answered these, you need to converge on a make and model of the car. For example, you have decided you want a safe, reliable, all-wheel drive SUV which will not break the bank. A Subaru Forester may be an excellent choice for you. Now that you have decided on the car, you need to decide on the trim level. For example, if you want leather seats, then you would want the limited trim or higher for a Subaru Forester. Sometimes, certain safety features are only offered on certain trim levels and above. Make sure to check the manufacturer's website to find out the safety features of the car that are most appropriate for your needs, because in 2021, you really should be getting a car with automatic braking assistance and blind spot detection. You need to decide on the make and model of the car and the trim of your car before you go on to the next step. You should probably look up some additional information such as the IIHS crash test reports for your car and the JD Power and Associates review. Step 3 is very important, which is to find out what is the maximum price you are willing to pay before walking away. Once you have found the car and the trim that you want, you can look up the price of the car on the manufacturer's website. Add a dealership fee, delivery fee, and taxes on top of that. The dealership and delivery fees are about $1,000 each, and the sales tax is the local tax. Once you consider all of these, you need to decide on a number that is the maximum amount you are willing to pay. This is the number that if you cannot meet, then you will walk away from the deal. This should be a hard cutoff. Of course, your goal is to buy the car for as far below your cutoff as possible. But it is very important for you to know this number because then it is very difficult for anyone else to upsell you. For me, that number is usually 8 to 10% below what the MSRP is. Step 4. Call ahead and shop around online for your car. Now that you have all the information on paper, you need to call a few dealerships in your area. Most people make the mistake of only going to the nearest dealership. For me, when I bought my RAV4, I drove 3.5 hours to buy the car and then I drove it back, because that was the only dealership that was willing to meet my needs. Don't be put off if a few dealerships say no and turn you away. You can take no for an answer because you have options. So go ahead and make a list of at least 3 dealerships near you for the brand you want. Once you have a list of dealerships, call them and ask them to speak to the sales manager. This takes us to step 5, talk to the sales manager. Talk to the sales manager and introduce yourself and tell him or her the exact car you want, make, model, and trim. The reason for speaking with the manager is because there is no back and forth with the salesman. Once you tell them exactly what you want, they understand you have done your research and they are less likely to upsell you. Tell the manager that you have a deal for the car you want from a rival dealership for 8 to 10% below the manufacturer's suggested retail price, and whether they would be willing to beat that price and take your business instead. Tell them, if so, then you would like to set up a time to come in to the dealership when the sales manager will be present to buy the car. Now, when you walk into the dealership, ask to meet the sales manager, remind them that you spoke with them over the phone and that you agreed a price for the exact car, make, model, and trim that you want. The manager will then assign a salesperson to take care of you. If you have a trade-in car, you need to decide on a trade-in value of your car with the sales manager before you walk into the dealership. You can go onto kellybluebook.com and find out the fair value of your car and try to get the manager to agree to pay you as close to that price as possible. Step 6. Don't buy any add-ons. Once you verify that everything is meeting your needs, the salesman will go through the paperwork. At this point, they may try to sell you a bunch of add-ons for the car. These could include window tinting, floor mats, light upgrades, wheel and tire insurance, gap insurance, paint protection, and many more. You need to be very resolute and say no to any and all add-ons. Most of these are designed to weasel more money out of you. When I was buying a car, I said upfront to the salesman very politely that I was not going to be buying any add-ons. I bought the floor mats online, which was 50% cheaper than buying at the dealership. Step 7. Bring your own financing. This one is one of the last steps, yet many people get screwed here. The best option here is to have pre-approved financing from your own bank of choice at a low rate. If you bring your own financing to the table, then the finance manager cannot screw you with a bad rate. If you don't get outside financing approved prior to going into the dealership, then go to the manufacturer's or the dealer's website and see what the lowest financing rate that they are offering. If you have a good credit score, like 700 or above, tell the financier you are willing to walk away from the deal if they cannot get you the rate close to what they're advertising online. When I went to buy my car, the dealer was offering me a 6% financing, even though I had a perfect credit score. I pulled up the dealer's website on my phone and I showed them that the online advertised rate currently was around 3%, and so I asked them to give me that rate. So there you have it. It took me over 2 months to get the deal I wanted, but in the end I got an incredible 28.5% off of a brand new RAV4 XLE Premium. If you follow these steps, I am confident you can easily get at least 8% off of a new car. For just a little bit of effort, that can be a huge amount of savings. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you found it helpful, then please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Please let me know in the comments below about your own car purchasing experiences and whether you have any further advice about the process. Thanks, and see you guys in the next video.